This is a vintage Collins axe head. If you don't know much about Collins Axe Company, I'll actually leave a link in the description. It's actually a pretty cool story. They're made in Connecticut, in Collinsville, Connecticut, and they're really, really good axe heads. This one in particular was given to me by my father. We actually found it while digging in our front yard for irrigation pipes about 10 years ago while I still lived in Oregon. And we found it. My dad really didn't have any use for an axe, so it got put in our tool chest underneath all of our power tools. So it was kind of forgotten about for 10 years until I found it yesterday. And so this is a really, really nice axe head. There's a little bit of light pitting, which is expected, but nothing deep, nothing significant. No real bad rust. It's actually pretty nice patina. So this is actually a really nice head. The pole wasn't beat up a lot. There's a few nicks in it, but it's not like a lot of the poles that you'll see if you look on eBay at axe heads. Those are just bashed up from hitting metal wedges for taking down trees. So yeah, this is a Collins axe head. It's a really good axe head. But this is a video that I'm going to be shooting a couple of videos on, such as derusting, which is what this video is about, as well as hanging the axe. Now, if you don't know what hanging is, there's actually a really informative video on all of the axes, all types of axes, sharpening them, hanging them, all that kind of stuff. It's actually from the U.S. Forestry Service. It's called An Axe to Grind. It's a full documentary that's available here on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check that out. So this isn't going to be a tutorial or showing you how to do it. This is just going to be a video of my process of testing and trying to restore this axe head. I am by far not a professional. I've never done this before, but I thought this would be an interesting video to shoot, especially since a friend of mine is interested in vintage axe heads and wanted to see how I did it. So this is just going to be a test. It may fail epically, it may not, but this is how it's going to be. So basically what this video is about is derusting. Now I could use an angle grinder and grind it off. I could use a wire wheel and take all the rust off with that. But what I'm afraid about is the Collins stamp. You won't be able to see this. I'll probably do a close-up of it and put it over my face right here. But this is a very light stamp. I'm assuming, I don't know how it got so light, I guess from wear and from use, it rubbed down, not sure exactly, but the Collins stamp is very faint. It's still readable, but I don't want to mess with that. And if I grind it or use a wire wheel, I'm afraid that it's going to take off too much metal and you won't be able to read that it's Collins anymore. And I really want to keep that fact. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be trying a process that I actually saw here on YouTube using white vinegar. Just soaking it in white vinegar for about 45 minutes to an hour, maybe a little bit more, and then scrubbing it with a wire brush. So this is going to be a little test video, and we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so here is the axe itself, and as you can see, there's not really a lot of rust. A little bit of pitting, but not too bad. But right on, let's see, right here, you probably won't be able to see that. But right here, actually, you can read Collins, and that's what I want to keep. So I'm not going to be doing a lot of derusting with this since it's not really that bad. So I'm hoping the white vinegar will work. If not, I'll probably have to try the electrolysis, or however you pronounce that, with the using electricity and water and baking soda or whatever to try and get it off. But I wanted to try this first since this seemed easier. So I'm actually going to put this in here. I've got this little tub, and let me adjust the focus with this real quick. Okay, so I'm actually going to put this in this tub, and I don't have enough vinegar to cover the whole thing. So I'm going to try, well actually I don't think I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to just do one side at a time. I'm actually going to do this side without the Collins just in case it eats away any of the rust. And man, this is actually smells terrible. So let's just pour this in here. Alright, so that definitely, that's all I got. That definitely wasn't enough, but I'm just going to let this sit for about 45 minutes and see how it works out. Who knows? It might work, it might not. Hopefully it works. Let's adjust the focus again. So yeah, that's about it. Here's a little bit of a better shot of the word Collins. Like I said, you can't really see it. There's still a little bit of blue paint on there, and it covered up the white vinegar covered up quite a bit of it, but it just wasn't enough to fill up the whole thing. So let me focus again. There we go. So this is basically what I'm starting with, and I'll come back in about a half hour and check on it, and then again at 45 minutes, and then again in an hour, and see how it's working out. Okay, so this has been sitting in the white vinegar for a total of around 18 hours now. And as you can see, right down here, there's a ton of bubbles. I'm hoping that's a sign that something's actually happening really, really well. I let it sit overnight, so I haven't really looked at this, and this is all new, so I'm hoping that that is a sign. So let me just pull this out and give it a scrub real quick. I'm actually going to pull it over here, and I'll change the camera position just so y'all can see. Okay. Scrub this off. Actually doesn't seem like anything's really happening. Not sure if that's just my eye is not seeing anything yet, or if nothing's actually happening. But I do know that a lot of this is deep pitting. Well, not deep pitting, but it is pitting, and it's a little hard for, I believe, for the vinegar to get in the pits. So I'm probably going to end up just covering up the words Collins, which is right here. I'm not sure if you can see that yet, but I can actually see it a lot better in person than I could before. It's not searching for it, you just look and you see it. So let me dip that back in there real quick just so I can wash some of this rusty vinegar off. Alright, and I'm just going to take this little rag and just wipe it off and see what we got. And it's cleaning up really, really nice. I honestly think that the only thing left that I have to do is hit this with a wire wheel, because I don't think any of that's going to come out. I'm not sure if you can see that very well, but honestly I think that's as good as it's going to get, and it looks really, really good. Compared to what it originally looked like, that looks phenomenal. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to end up doing this other side, and then however it lays after that, I'm going to hit it with a wire wheel and just take the rest off. But what I'm going to do, so that I don't disturb the word Collins here with the wire wheel, I'm just going to cover that up with some blue tape, some painter's tape, just so that I remember to not touch that part. And then I can just hit the rest of this, get all this blue paint off, and hopefully get some of that pitting out and get this to a high shine. If not with a wire wheel, I might just use, I've seen another guy talk about using sandpaper starting at like 80 grit and moving up to 2000 for that really, really high shine and high perfect surface. So I think I might go with that route as well. Just gotta think about what would be best. But yeah, so that's been the derusting of this so far. I'll keep you all up to date with some more videos once this is done, but the vinegar part is done. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll catch you guys later.